Start the recording for the Power Hour on January 5th, 2016. Today's session we're going to talk about staging. Jeannie's going to give us some great info on staging, and then we're going to talk about market reports in MLS. So, keep going. Ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Good morning. Great. So I wanted to show you every special student have. Great. And what was the approximate cost?
$3,500.
And was that for an empty home? And how do you think that helps? A big empty lot. Okay. How would you define staging? I am Glenn, I'm sorry, I'm putting you on the spot.
It was double worth.
What do you think it gives? Looks great, okay. Marketing,
Helping the person imagine what the house would
Giving an idea.
look like, the furniture.
Great. Not just for empty customers. What is the objective?
To appeal to the most amount of buyers as possible.
That's right. Appeal to the broadest number of buyers. That sell the house for the highest value in the shortest time possible. And that's what it does. There are a lot of organizations out there that support the findings of the Real Estate Savings Association, of which I'm a member. But typically, sellers who spend $1,500 get 243% of that back. So it's an investment that always pays itself back. They estimate between 1% and 3% of your home value that you should reinvest in your house before you sell. I think probably one of the hardest conversations you guys have with your sellers is discussing what needs to be done before they sell it. What are some of the common things that you get back from them? I don't want to put any more money in the house. Great. Or I'll let the new buyers figure out what they want. You have a giant stain in your carpet. Yeah, they might want hard weather tile. So. But one of the biggest mistakes that your sellers can make is add anything or keep anything in their home that as a potential buyer walks through. They're clicking off dollar signs. Oh, I have to replace that carpet. If the carpet's already been replaced, typically goes away in their mind. They don't think of it as something that they absolutely have to go to the top. And I know that you're asking at this point your buyers to spend a little bit more money on their house and when they want to sell it, right? Usually, when they do invest that money, it comes right back. So it often comes back in the form of some price reduction. Right? So typically a home, how many price reductions have you been doing? Oh, nice. That's good.
You gotta do the dance.
Good dance, good dance.
Sorry, guys.
You're being recorded.
It's okay.
Really?
Yes.
There he is. That's right, you are. So that's really what we're at and what we're about in this market, because I think what you're seeing is a staged home is going to sell faster for a higher value and typically much faster than one that's not staged, as you know. A lot of customers think that this is a trend. Are you finding that? Have you ever discussed staging with your customers? No?
Yes.
Why? It looks prettier. And how do you have that conversation with them?
Want to make it as saleable as possible.
Right.
And anything you can do to one-up your competition, in my opinion, that's the point.
That's right. In a slower market, staging helps position your product to that many more people, so that it's the first choice that they'll make rather than third or fourth or fifth one. And in a fast market, you're going to sell for a higher dollar, meaning very great sellers market. You're going to sell faster and for more money.
There's a lot of people who don't have the gift of the vision of how things things could look functionally, formally, whatever. People just get to in their lives, their stuff's kind of everywhere. You can help the seller really tidy up and really make an impact when that buyer walks through the door. They go, oh, okay. I try to negotiate as much off the price.
Right.
Really kind of want this compared to slovenly. We live some things that look great, let's be honest. People live, but people also live like.
Right, because their home is now a product. So their home is now a house, everybody else, potential house. And if you're going from making your client feel like, okay, let's move from your home, maybe you're making it now a product. You have to position it against all the other products in the market. Conversations we're having with them all the time. And staging is nothing that is a trend, it's nothing new. When you think about it, when you bring your car to get right in for something better, you always make sure it's vacuumed, always make sure it's been detailed. So it's no different than that. And if you explain it that way, it sometimes helps them reframe. The other thing that you can sell to them is the fact that they're going to be moving on anyway. And now's a really good time to start packing up all of that stuff. And right? And that way, they're already halfway emotionally prepared to let go. That's a big aspect for life. And even if the house per se is not your buyer's style, they walk in and it's clean and the floor plan makes sense for them and every single room has a defined purpose, not just random like this dining room is now also
Treadmill in an office.
an office, has a treadmill,
In a crib.
a crib, exactly.
Right.
I had somebody who had a house that had a massive closet in their master bedroom, and they turned it into a nursery. And but my God, they put their kid in the closet. They were really freaking. They're like, God, they put their kid in the closet. Who does that? And their perception was, oh no, kept our child close to us. People walked in and didn't see a master bedroom walk-in closet. They walked in and saw a nursery. So you can't control what your buyers are going to think, but you can help control what your sellers are going to think. Out of sight, out of mind. We all go house blind, right? We all look at our house. Oh yeah, I meant to get to that filling wallpaper. Or I meant to get to those greasy dishes above cabinet. Oh, yeah, great. And now the cabinet and it just does. We all go house blind for that. I know like it. But sometimes out of sight and out of mind can mean blind and insane. So that neon green paint, you need to have those conversations with your buyers about their personal choices may not work for you. But it's also not, a lot of people think of staging as decorating. What it really is neutralizing. So you're removing, when you're decorating, you're adding the personality. You can't wait to move in and put up that crazy Batman poster. Or put the whole montage of Hawaii on your bedroom wall. That's fabulous. That's your personal choice, and that's what you want to do, is to make a home your own. But when you're selling your home, you have to neutralize. You have to make a house follow the person. I'm going to add one more thing that I think is really important. Because our business is visual. Like 97% buy online. Right. So they book online first. You book online first. So you have to capture them with the best possible photographic images. You have to. It's not a choice anymore. It's where they're going. So you want to check the product. It's going to show how to accept it. It's not about hiding. It's about highlighting best features of a home when you are selling. You only want to photograph those best aspects of that. But when you're looking through 4,000 different pictures of homes, You want the one that's going to stand out. The one that has the shiny, they're going to have shiny appliances, stainless steel, make them glow. Make them jump off the page.
What's in the toilet photos?
I'm sorry?
The toilet photos?
No toilet photos, please. Please, for the love of God, especially with the feet up. Yes.
Especially with the seat up.
Oh, no,
Those
we
crack
can't
me
have
up.
that. Please, unless your bathroom looks like the spa at the Capali Center in Atlantic. No thanks. People assume that there are toilets in the house, right? People assume that. But it's okay.
Probably, yeah.
Sometimes you really just want to show off the lovely wooden toilet lid that you have in your main floor bath, right?
Right. I like the green fuzzy.
Carpet,
lid
toilet
cover, yeah.
carpet. Oh, the lid cover, yeah.
Oh, yeah, the
even
lid
better.
cover, that's good. Yeah, 'cause nothing looks more hygienic than that.
Right.
That's why I'm a big proponent of the professional photos. And smaller houses only going to cost them. That's one.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you brought up the small house thing. Because a lot of people say, well, it's a small house, it's a starter home, they don't have to, why should they spend a whole lot? Because there's just going to be other people coming in. But you never know, just because someone is buying a smaller home, it could be that they are downsizing. And they don't want to sacrifice quality, they want to get rid of their floor space, but they don't want to get rid of their quality. So a smaller home that is well thought out, well designed, and strategically marketed can have a huge impact on it. But the other aspect of that is your first time buyers, what, right? How realistic are they about what they right? About what can go into a home or what they think they should have. But if you have a really well curated first time home buyer home that is thoughtfully designed and every room is clearly articulated, you're going to have more opportunities to sell that home than one that is, oh my God, yeah, it's definitely a starter. Starter homes don't have to look. In fact, I would argue that a starter home will have a broader appeal to both sides of the market, downsides and first time home buyers, if it's well thought out.
I think the staging is important in a smaller home to make it.
Yes, I think staging the smaller homes
Yeah.
is key.
I live by less is more, and everybody likes vanilla. So anything you can do to neutralize paint colors,
Right.
quilts, blankets, flooring, and less is more. You have a dining room table in a small house especially that has 4 chairs and can take 2 away and just kind of add a little bit more space to walk around it. Do that when you sell a house. Tuck it away somewhere, put it in the shed, put it in the garage, wherever, just open, make it feel more fun.
I think sometimes a storage unit and a dumpster are 2 of your best designs.
Yeah.
So, and again, it helps them emotionally prepared to move on anyway. They want to start packing their stuff up. They want to make their next move. So helping them make those well curated, well thought out decisions. And the other thing that I really want to point out before I forget is people that have their kids' names over their bed or over their crib, urge them to take that down. Now have your child's name and address on the internet. Something that you should think about before you put all of those pictures out there. Not a difficult thing to just say, oh, let's take those letters down.
I
Again,
think that also makes sense because
right.
Someone wants his kids to.
Yeah. Oh, this is Dylan's room, right? And when your kid looks at the picture, they don't want to say, oh, it's Dylan's room? I don't want to live in a boy's room, right? So again, it just gives more opportunities, more options. So I did want to mention that as a big issue. And again, everybody wants to have the clients whose home is in condition. Because those are the ones that you want to show, that you're proud, you're excited to show off, that you know you have confidence to sell that home. So I want to remind your client of that too, that you want to be the first choice home on the home tour, not the last choice, that is the glamour don't. Right? So again, you don't get a second chance to make first impression when it comes to your home being marketed online. You want to make sure that you have the best possible pictures, best possible images, and anything that I can do to help any of you, your clients to do that. I'm willing. All right. Any questions?
Any other questions on that?
But consider, it's really a very valuable tool. If we could, 40% faster and 200% increase in sales when an empty home is used. So we've done lots of analysis on this when we have new developments. They will stage typically the model home, and then they'll go and strategically set up the full development. Those houses will sell first every single time, and they'll sell for higher money, even if they have better fixtures or amenities than some of the other ones. They will sell faster because people need that sense. They want to see pictures online, and they want to walk in and go, "This is my home." The aspiration in this one.
You guys ever toured like a toll builders model? They're freaking incredible.
They're gorgeous.
And I'm sure they upsell so much because of those models. They have every last bell and whistle. They're good to the T.
The
You're like,
custom drapes in there probably cost in a dining room, probably cost between $1,000 and $2,000 easily on one window. They'll spend it because they know they get it back.
With all that stuff.
They will.
yeah, I'm sure they do.
They have full-time designers on their staff.
Yeah. So there's something to be said for it. The big time builders are doing it, spending money on things. That's for it.
Because it works for them, it'll work for everybody.
Much of those $1 million listing shows, some of them they spend 100, 200 grand on furnishings.
Because that's what their buyers expect. They don't want to walk in and see side tables from a Christmas tree show.
Right. Right.
And nor do they want what they see in Pottery Barn. They want to feel that they're walking into, I'm a unique buyer. I want to walk into a unique home that has unique accessories. Oh, I want to see that fabulous one if you brought that from Morocco. They want to show off their aspirations and their success level as well. Mine. I think there are plenty of factors you guys don't know.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of
Yeah.
things I think have it. I'll try to get a price on stuff.
I haven't used him. I usually use Best View Imaging or, Carrie Bigness, not a Northbridge. It's just her. She's very affordable. That just kind of came up. For Best View. But no, not on her own.
No.
She did my family photos too.
Oh, yeah.
Came out good. 5 or 150. Like any normal size. Yeah.
The return is huge.
But it's so special when you get to a photo shoot. You're more apt to clean up their house for a photographer than you would be.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm ready for my close up.
Yeah, as a person who's never used it, I looked into it once. You don't know, what the right price is to spend or not spend, or it's unknown area to really. Their job is to sell you. I don't know really, like photography, I can figure that out. Staging.
Well, it really depends on how much there's going to be in client furniture or it is in fancy house. I mean, think about it. When you have to go out and rent furniture, it depends on also the stage of the organization. Some of them have their own stock, like I have a lot of my own stock, but a lot of them go and rent furniture. Again, it depends on the size and the scale and the level of quality finishes in the home. And you don't want to put Christmas tree shop furniture in like $700,000. But it's around $150 to $200 a month. That's the average. About $1,500 if they have enough furniture in the house. But otherwise, you're thinking about physically moving furniture in and out twice, and how much does it cost you next for movers? I mean, I hire guys and I pay them $50, $200 a day, all of that for them. For some people, that's especially if they're upside down, it can be a huge cost to them, but it will sell their house. What's the question for us? I'll tell you right now, my hit ratio is 90%. Full price offer on the Toyota. And I've done them in markets with staff to Concord, Mass, to Holland, Mass. I did a proof of concept with a broker in Holland. So I don't know if it's ever going to work out there. Expect 10,000 of that. That's 3 offers in the proof of concept to me, she didn't really believe the staging was going to work in Holland.
I think a lot of agents probably pick that up.
Yeah,
Right.
out this way, I can see people being.
Right.
But I know, given 3 years, likely stages will understand where things should go or could go and how they could look, and they feel more compelled. They are this one's
Right.
and share the plan.
Right.
My sister's asked because she was planning her wedding,
Uh-huh.
and my mom was just like, I want to be involved in everything. I was like, Mom, why don't you come over here and
I was
work on
asking
this
for
house
you.
that I just finished. Go put some chairs and tables and stuff out and make it look pretty.
Right.
And she did. There's me.
But it's funny, the house in Holland, one broker came through before the project and did 92,000. Another broker came through and said, well, you know, fix this problem, this problem, this problem. We probably get our new plan. So the guy said, well, all right, I'll invest the $10,000. It'll take all of those fixes. Once he done came in and staged it, the realtor put it on for 150, and it sold for 150 first. So,
I think we're getting into a market too now where people are going to pay a little bit extra for extra. There's where I feel like in the past last 3 years, or definitely before 2015, buyers are like, I want those upgrades. I want them at the same price as that dump down the street.
Right, yeah.
Right? Right. Now I see them paying a premium for good houses that are done well, that have the same thing, staging, but a little bit looser with their pockets to say, approval to 200.
That confidence back in.
Right.
And if the house is inspiring confidence as well, then it's a win-win for everybody.
Or stage a house that I would think you have 5 or houses.
Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Probably a staging competition probably help you get a lower price too if they decide not to.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, can I ask you a question? What was it was like 150 to 200 a room? I mean,
Right.
just so, it's really another tool in our tool belt as listing agents. To say, hey, we do professional photos, we're gonna, bring in a professional home stager consultant, like give us a script as we're on that listing presentation, like do we, introduce you at that time, or do we, say for, 6.5%, we can bring in a home stager and have your house staged on us, we offer that. There are a couple different ways you can play
Yeah,
with
there
that, I
are
guess.
lots of different ways you can do it. You could say that, we'll pay for the staging up front, or you can pay for, I've worked both ways. I've worked when that's how confident you can be about it, is that, it's gonna sell faster, so you can wait to get paid till after the close. So that's an option. Sometimes it's just a $250 3-hour consultation for going in and coming back with floor plans, color suggestions, a list of suggested improvements, as well as coupons for your classes. I get 30% off at Sherwood-Williams. I get 20% off at Benjamin Moore. So all of those things I can pass on. I get 20% off costs. So those things are also value adds for you as well. But in terms of the script, again, just so you don't get a second chance to make that first impression. Buyers are buying online. picture's worth 1,000 words. You want to be the place to show.
Yeah.
For every realtor, not just.
I like it. I think it's value add. That's the thing I'm very curious about. It's going into the spring market, having some more unique things coming out, some odd contemporaries and ranches and splits that are kind of tired and dated.
Mhm.
They need the modern house. If people, 30 and 50 are buying, and quite frankly, those people have drive-through food, coffee,
Right.
instant this, on-demand TV on my phone. We're friggin' late.
Cleaners coming in, cleaner house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are late.
So you want to help them make that decision
Right.
as easy as possible.
They want it done for you. So I mean, stage it, have it, painted, professionally photographed, and stuff like that. It's done. It's done for them. So the buyer comes in and goes, oh, shit, I'll do anything.
Right.
Move in.
Yeah.
What's your price? 300 grand? Yeah. Here's the check. I'll take it.
And the well-staged home is going to show better to more people, and more brokers are going to want to show that. And quite seriously, projects. I would say most of them, 50 of them. I hope so. And that's what you want. And I'm going back to the 2008 market, 2006, 2009, right?
But yeah, that's when I first heard about staging too, and I was of a conservative mindset. Like, well, I'm not going to spend extra myself. They don't need to. When people started buying a lot of foreclosures, cleaning them up, staging them, like first open house, gone, blocks, gone, even out here. So
Yeah.
that's what kind of changed my mindset on staging.
If you're making the decision, anything that you can do to help make the decision is purchase. Always better to do it.
I think it's do it better at the beginning, but would it be efficient to still do it after it's the best?
Well, actually, it's really interesting you said that, because I did a second project in Holland on a house that had been on the market for over a year. It had tenants in it. It was difficult to show, so there are lots of challenges with that as a listing. And I thought it was somewhat overpriced for the condition of it. But the listing expired. New agent went in, made her presentation. He was determined to stay at the same 325 price. And she said, if you really want that 325 price, I think you really need to stage this. So she brought me on, and I worked with the seller, and we repaired a few things, changed out a few styles, things like lighting fixtures, really inexpensive fixtures. I think he spent less than $400. He had a really cool 60s ranch, but he had all these arts and crafts style light fixtures, so that's what it's like. So it was just sort of a jarring contrast between work with the house. He went to Lowe's, bought $250 worth of light fixtures and paint. They were so neutral, you didn't even notice them anymore. Before, they were like hanging from the ceiling, and you had to like stuff your head because they didn't have furniture in the house. It was just awkward. And it went. It's the house. First open house was held on a really happy weekend for the lakefront property in the 2000s. Second open house, pretty awesome. And it went out. You just was also online. But if you want to see the before and after, you can look at 29 Lakebridge in Holland. Look at the earlier expired listing, and then the one, yeah, that one. I think it makes. They've been on the market for over a year.
It's probably if you're going to do it, if after it's on the market, like, do some kind of big group. Throw it up the next day, or price reduction. I don't know, something to make
Something
sure.
that makes it new
Other than
or
make
fresh.
not this.
Well, also, when you were talking last night about prospecting on expired, that's also something that you could offer and say, well, let me come through, and maybe we could have a professional stager come through and look at it with us too. Some of the tweaks that we could do with staging could help. Okay, what's that?
I'll have something put together to send out the test. Know some options. to at least throw it out there, like, this is something to do, have to list it with me, whatever you decide. I'll pay for consultation if you list it with me, you know what I mean? You can decide. Pretty good option. So.
And I think proof is also the fact that I've done it in Boston, so we work in the greater Boston area, and it was working out there. So, great opportunity for you guys for offer to your clientele.
Differentiation.
Who else has one in house? Who else has a stager in house? Okay.
All right. Good stuff.
All right.
All right, let's do a quick session. I just wanted to show you one thing in particular, make sure you guys are all using these tools for market reports. Personally, I think if you're going to any listing presentation, you should be doing numbers. And if you're searching expired, you should know the numbers in a certain town or section of town, so you can speak knowledgeably on the phone about what's going on in the market you're trying to do business. So I wanted to quickly just go through how you guys would use the tools button on MLS to do some market reports. Click on market reports. The one in particular I'm going to look at right now, if you do a new report, is a sold. So you pick the report type, it would be a total sold market stats. I know some of you, I think others also do hot sheet market watches. Those are good if you're working expired, because you can actually, if you pick a hot sheet market watch, you can just click on expireds and cancels and pick your town. Basically save, pick your town, time frame today, meaning what expired today. Does it send to an email, right, every day? Or you have to log in?
I do it every 7 days. So I change the day, I print the sheet, I'll do it next week, Tuesday. It rotates throughout the whole week so that I carry all everything. Sometimes I check it on a daily basis, but
you can, once you pick your town, obviously up here you want to put in, Auburn expired, hit save. And when you go back on your list and look at that, it'll show you what expired. It's a quick way to, like, towns you want to work expired, canceled, it'll show you that list. So that's one of the ones you should use. The second one you should definitely use is the total sold markets stats. So let's do one as an example, just so you guys know how to run the report. So you click on New Report, to sold market stats. I'm only going to look at, well, you can either leave these blank or you can pick an individual. I'm going to look at them all, but you could do just single one or two. But let's leave all these blank. That means it's going to pick them all. And then you want to do a time frame, because you want to look at, just finished up 2015. You want to look at 2015 versus 2014. If you're in the middle of the year, you probably want to do past year. But you just have to keep in mind to look at the previous year, you'll have to put in a time frame. So let's just look at 2015 versus 2014. Give me a town to look at. Good turn? Okay.
Alfred, Massachusetts.
All right, so I'm going to pick a time frame. So the time frame you have to actually fill in the time frame. So I'm going to say first one I want to print is 2014. The 1/1/2014 through 12/31/2014. That's my time frame for the sale date. Then I'm going to look at Shrewsbury, so I'm going to pick the town of Shrewsbury. I did 2001, 2014 through 12/31/2014. So that's the full year of 2014. I'm going to bring up the sheet that looks like.
And then you get to click on the box. That's what I was saying, the box below had an end date.
Oh, I put it all in the same box here. Okay. So, MLS does that all the time. It's always dropping things out. It doesn't track it.
Like,
all right.
Forgot one thing.
So that's our 2014 report. I'm going to print it out so we can look at some numbers and compare, because we're going to want look at 2014 and then what happened in 2015.
Don't get it, it doesn't put the color in it. That?
So, all right, I'm not gonna waste time with that. I'm just gonna take the numbers out of here and write them on a piece of paper. So we had 530 total sales. The two numbers I typically want to look at first are what's happened with sales for 2014 versus 2015, and what happened with the average price. I can look at average price as a whole, or I can look at average price based on a price range. As you see, range has an average price, and each range has a number of sales. But first, let's look at overall. So 530 sales in 2014. And the average price was $314. All right, so now I printed that out. I'm going to hit backspace. I'm going to change this to 2015. Very again. In 2015, we had 608 sales. We had an average price of $323.
The lowest price, $8.
Yeah.
I think there's a way to put both views at the same time. Put that snapshot on there, or snapshot, or.
I've just always done it this way.
Okay.
I think it's maybe more foolproof, I guess. So now that we know our two numbers, let's look at how the sales changed. So the sales we had 608 in 2015 minus 530 in 2014. So that's 78 more sales in 2000 plus 78. So take that and divide that by 2014's number, 530. That's going to give you the percentage that it increased. But you had an increase of 15% in sales in 2015. Those are good numbers to share with sellers. If you're calling up expired saying, hey, I know you expired in 2013. I'm not sure if you knew, but from 2014 to 2015, a 15% increase in sales. Those are good numbers. So then now the next number you want to look at is the average sale price increase. So we take the 323,863 with the average price in 2015 minus the 314,754. That was the number for 2013. I'm wacky. Showing an increase of $9,100. If you divide that by the 2014 number, not going to be that impressive a number, 2%. So certainly when you're calling those sellers, you're not going to say, and guess what? We had a 2% increase in sale price.
We're out of here.
But you are going to mention that we had a 15% increase in sales. Now, right. Now, you may also find, if you're looking at specific categories, that the numbers in specific categories were better than in others. So I'm not going to, we'll look at that on the sheets that I had printed out. So let me go back. I had done the other example I did was 2015 versus 2014 for Auburn. So for Auburn, the overall sales in 2015 were 252. In 2014, they were 238. That was a plus 14 on the number of sales. We divided that again by the 2014 number. It represented a 6% increase in sales. Not bad. Still positive. The average sale price actually went down $1,500. So you're not going to mention that. And it's kind of funny because I feel like it's some of these numbers when you start to look at them, they represent what you kind of feel about the market. Like more sales. I wouldn't say prices aren't necessarily going up in every price category, but definitely market buying and selling. So these can work for you in many ways. When you go into a town and the seller's like, oh, all the prices are going crazy. My house is worth $300. You could be like, let's look at the numbers in Auburn. I can assure you that it's not going the same in Auburn. So knowing your numbers is important. But also, if you're in a specific category, you can see that I also, like one of the things I did on this example, was I looked at the $200,000 to $300,000 price range because I wanted to see, let's say, if you're looking at an expired that's $250,000 or a seller that's thinking about coming on the market in the $250,000 range. It's good to look at that specific category also. So you can look at that in these reports. So the 200 to 300 range, I put a little bracket here. There were 100 sales in 2015. If I scroll down to the second page, there was 84 in 2014. So at the bottom here, I did the calculations. We had 100 this 2015, 84. That's 16. That's a plus 16 on the total sales. Divided by that 84 number, which was the 2014 number, that's a 19% increase in sales. So knowing these numbers is good. If you're working on a listing in Auburn that's 250, you don't have to go in there and say, well, Auburn only saw a 6% increase in sales. You can say, well, in your price category, we saw a 19% increase in sales in that year. And then obviously I also looked at what was the average price in those categories. And the average price for the 2 to 250 was 223, and then it was 23, about basically the same number. So you don't go in there obviously and say, well, but your house didn't increase in value. It's a little harder to look at the average price in a specific category anyways, because it's mostly going to even out.
What's that days on market?
You can look at days on market on here too. This one, if you look at it, let's see, let's say you're also trying to have an argument with them about whether to be under 250 or over 250. In this case, I would be keying in on these numbers and saying, well, as you can see, if you're over 250, you're going to be on the market a lot longer. It's almost 25 days, almost a month longer being over 250. 76 versus 91. You can also look at year to year, and you can say, okay, overall in Auburn, homes that were on the market 97 days in 2015 and 91 in 2014. So actually, homes were on a little bit longer in 2015 than 2014. So that's not, again, numbers that you want to key in on. You want to key on the numbers that are going to make a difference.
All the highlight you want to bring to their attention before you get there.
Right.
Instead of stumbling over the book. Oh, what if you?
Well, statistics can show the facts that you want to present.
Right. And 2014 was a pretty good year. 2015 was even better. You probably would see a bigger difference if you did 2013 to 2015. So if you're going after an expired and you kind of got them talking and thinking, yeah, maybe we should re-examine it, I would pull 2013 when they're on the market and compare that to 2015. So you can say from 2013 to 2015, we saw a 20% increase in sales, and we saw a 20% increase in average sale price. So then you can go in there with the numbers that are going to appeal to them and say, okay, well, yeah, we did have the market on the market in 2013 and it didn't go so well, but maybe this is an indication. And it's sometimes I think they don't want to believe us, but they'll believe the numbers. So having your numbers ready are key. So personally, if you're going to any listing presentation, not only should you have your CMA and your comps and what's on the market, what's sold, the more paper of this sort, I think, the better, as opposed to just going into your listing presentation.
It's like third-party material. Bringing in
and it's showing you did your research.
Don't listen to what I say, because you think I'm a salesman. I'm going to try what you want to hear. Read the article.
It'll help you in many ways. And A, feeling like you're the expert. B, having something to back up why you think they should be back in the market. In some cases, back up why you think the price is crazy. You said you want to be at this price because the market has increased. Well, it's not really increasing in your town or in your price range. So it helps you in many ways. The more data, the better, in my opinion. So good stuff. Any other questions on how to use that kind of stuff? Pretty easy to do.
You're just going to look at it and read over it, get it to make sense to you.
Yeah.
Like you say, for the long one.
I mean, you also want to be excited about what you're doing. If you're thinking about where's my market area going to be, where's my focus this year going to be in, what towns, what price ranges, doing this research and finding the areas that are having good success with low days, under 100 days in market, and prices that are increasing year to year, sales that are increasing year to year, it'll get you more excited about going out there and saying, hey guys, the market's good. And instead of just saying the market's good and then saying, well, why? You're not knowing the answer.
Yeah.
No, because I said so.
Yeah,
Like,
you
Because
get
my
that-
boss said
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
Get the question
Because
all
my
the time.
office group sees me through.
Yeah, I get that question all the time. So how's the real estate market doing? Great. Why? Right. Because it's been good enough?
Yeah.
Because it is, right?
Because I said
There's a
so.
lot of data you can sink your teeth into. Right. I guess the stuff that will be a struggle for me to explain is 2014 here, lowest sale price, $16. 2015, lowest price, $500. That seems like quite the statistical increase to me, if you wanted to highlight just the
Make it all
That's
relative.
right.
Yeah.
The lowest priced
Yeah,
home.
you know,
Okay,
market's,
Ross,
market's up 500%.
Right.
What?
Right. On a global scale, you could do this also. So you could do total sold market stats instead of picking an individual town. You could pick the county, and you could see what's going on in the county. So let's just see what's going on in Worcester County. I'm just curious. Oh, I did. Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Reported. Well,
Report?
because this is,
Oh, no, it is.
it only goes up to 999,000, that's why.
Oh, no, it would go
Oh,
above
it goes
there.
up to 10 million.
100 million.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So,
Commercial not selected.
CI is commercial.
so if you moved all the towns in Worcester County in there, and did a report for 2015. So 12,000 sales. Jeez, we can't go down to 25 anymore. It's a lot of sales. It's a lot of sales. It's a lot. So let's see. It's 12,175, and the average price was 218,385. So now I'm just going to hit back. I'm going to look at 2014. $11,304. Average price 05 was 905. So I'm going to put calc here. Thought a 7.7% increase in sales. That's pretty good for you.
That's for what? Greater Worcester?
All Worcester
All
County.
of Worcester County?
Absolutely, you know. That doesn't really mean a whole lot. I don't know that for that. Next stuff, Lindsay is very interesting. I really don't know why I'm good right now. I mean, how do you
I
learn
mean,
that
my
kind of
personal
stuff?
opinion is that inflation, think of it like inflation. What if housing is a little bit ahead of inflation, what would you normally be expected? I think a 5 to 7% increase on a year-to-year basis is a good growth market without being sticky. It's a sustainable.
Yeah, you almost have to,
Trade
to answer your
behind
question, I think you have to almost switch hats from realtor to data analyst or like consultant investment advisor. What's happening with these trends and forecasts? You know, if it's trending upward and forecast up to the future, I mean, my opinion from what I can see in every market cycle, as long as, you know, real estate's been around is it increases and then it kind of levels out and then crashes. So, yeah, yeah.
And then if they straight line,
Look at where you are on
it
the
should be
cycle.
like this. You're sometimes above and below that straight line.
I wouldn't even know where to look for that.
But you don't have to really know that. I mean, I look at it like this. If you're seeing a 7% increase in sales and a 7% increase in average sale price, that probably is not a bad idea to invest in real estate. You know, you probably want to get 3% on a money market at the most. You're probably not going to see 7% on the stock market. Not a bad increase. buy your house today and you pay, you know, and you're thinking about selling it, 7 years, you have a 30 or 40% value. It's certainly going to cover your commissions. So,
And when they talk about consumer confidence on the news, it's a direct reflection of that. People are feeling like have more security with that. People are feeling that the markets are somewhat stable, the interest rates are low. So that's the consumer confidence transfers.
yeah, sellers want to know, or it's a good time to sell, it's a good time to buy, and you just kind of, I think we always want to see it in your closet.
Yeah, but you, as a realtor too, you can't let that, want for appreciation maybe your sellers, it's, oh yeah, it's going to be another good year, the market's going to continue to go up. Like, you have to be smart about where you're pricing. A lot of people over the past few years, Pete put it beautifully when he first came on. People are trying to play the curve of the market. What's my house worth? $300, but I think if we put it on the market for $325, you'll get it. That house sits there for 6 months. And your seller's frustrated, mad at you, because you told them, put it on for $325, see if somebody's dumb enough to pay. Now we're seeing appraisals not
Exactly.
appraised.
Run into the appraisal.
So in my opinion, with all the data and trends and forecasting that I can see, none of us have a crystal ball, but it looks like it's leveling out. Written an upward rising trend over the past 3 years, 4 years. Starting to kind of peak. Now, looked at the report from the MLS.
The report, we just ran Auburn, it was like $6,000 lower.
When you do the report, you pull up 2 years at a time, right?
Sometimes I prefer the back sometimes.
But I'm saying it comes up on the thing at the same time, right?
You have to put it in the time frame.
Are you using a total sold market stats report, or are you using a different report now? So,
I look at total sold market statistics, and I look at on-market snapshots. I think those are
let's just pull up a market. Hit the total sold market
look
stats
at
report.
look at on-market snapshot. I do this to show them inventory levels, but
2 years ago.
No, yeah, when you okay.
It's going to basically look at from today versus last year at this point, right?
Yep.
All right. So today
See the median price? That was just listed.
right. So the median price is lower. It's $5,000 lower.
And I think you see that. It's like Mike said, I think we've hit this place where we have a normal market. Well, a normal market is probably 1 to
3%, and it's
Right.
relatively flat and predictable. And
Right.
if you're priced right, it'll appraise itself.
and I think we're kind of
We're hitting that. Here, in my opinion, I think it's going to be too flat, fully balanced, enough buyers for enough listings.
Finding a lot of houses on expiring. That's telling you when you go and you look at the market history, find out, obviously if they took out 4 mortgages, then they're not going to get the grief, but like you see when they bought for, you see a lot of them 6 or 7 trying to match what their purchase was. So they rode the wave down and back up, and now they're trying to at least break even, sell it.
we're not there yet.
Right, that's what I'm saying, is a lot of these people that are trying to sell are trying to not lose money. That's their biggest issue. They don't want to take a hit on the sale. They want to be able to move forward in a positive way. It's just like the house on the lake. There's no way they're going to sell what they want. No way they're going to make the profit that they think they should get. They're paid for the purchase.
And that's our job, to kind of deliver that honestly. Yeah.
That was the first thing I circled.
And
this is
it's
actually
not
Auburn,
our
so I
fault
circled
either.
the
So, I
average
mean, don't
price
for
of
yourself.
houses that sold in their price range. And
Yeah,
they dropped the price another 15,000. Their price, or their the sale doubled.
Yeah,
Only 4 houses, but still, it's twice the chance to sell.
Every town has a sweet spot.
that's a realtor's job to deliver that information, but you can't let your client think it's your fault because it's the market. I mean, it's numbers, it's a very factual based arena that we work in. It's not, I didn't make your house worth less or more. Here's the range, and I will give a range. Here's where, the range might be for your house to sell. I hear a lot of people say, oh, I took this listing and priced it here, and now sellers have said they won't do a price reduction, and you get into these battles with your clients, and you kind of get a little
Yeah, out of that, if you tell them that there's a range.
Yeah.
Usually, on the other, they present all the data you want without saying anything.
Yeah,
You're not
driving
making it up.
yourself crazy.
You pull it from the MLS.
Yeah, take yourself, hopefully the seller's emotion out of the equation. Look, numbers,
Take that later.
numbers.
I think C2 is days on market on all of these. Are up
Are going up.
Yeah.
We'll all be happier people working with our customers on the data and the numbers instead of
What
trying to
was
say.
the uptick in a year on the property totals?
It was 80 to 89.
Yeah, well, Auburn, we just did Auburn, well, it was 6% overall increase in sales in Auburn, but in the 200 to 300 price range, it was almost. The price didn't move much, but
That's the other thing too, with the average days on the market, you got a 19% uptick in out on the market or houses sold. People are going to be able to, I've got 10 more houses that are on the market at the same time last year. In the price range, we've got 10 more options.
Right.
10 more stores to go shopping.
these are a number of listings, so if you're looking in that 200 to 300 price range, right now you've got 17 on the market.
Right, look at 150 to 199. You know, if you put a seller in that range, they're gonna have a great house.
Oh, yeah, look, there's 23 on the market.
Right.
Holy crap.
14 a year ago.
Right, so these are important stats. You're going in there saying, okay, your house is 175 to 200, and you want to put on a 204. You're going to have an uphill battle. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I do that on when I'm looking for a price reduction, sellers, I want this price, I want this price, I want this price. Okay, we'll try it your way for 2 weeks, okay? Go back in 2 weeks and sit down with them. I like to do it face to face and do exactly that. Let's pull up those 23 listings, and in that MLS on the listing page, you can shrink it down to the one-line summary. Just highlight where they are on that list of 1 through 23 or 24. And if they're in the lower tier of that, say, look, your house is still going to sell. It's just going to take 9 more months to get there, okay, based on the trend. Here's where you're priced competitively in our highly competitive market. If you want to get real, get to Arizona or Texas or your new job or Florida or Europe or wherever you want to go. You got to get to the right price to sell within the next 3 months. That helps you get price reductions. When they see themselves compared to the rest of their competitors or their competition, hold them mirror up in front of their face. I'm in last place. You want to be in last place? I don't. I'm very competitive. I want to sell this freaking thing. Okay? Don't you? I want to win. You got to give me that 10 grand price drop. Got to get there.
I think a lot of people's decisions are emotionally charged versus data charged. So the more data you give them, the more you break down their emotional tendencies to want
The more digestible it
to
is.
sell higher. My house is better than your house.
My street's better, my neighbors are better.
Right. My dog is better.
You
Yeah.
brought up a good point yesterday, and I don't do it, but I think it's valid, and maybe I should do it. I'll tell open houses.
Yeah, it's called comparison shopping, right? You go to the mall looking for a pair of sneakers, right? We were talking about this with your son. Looking for sneakers. How many stores you go to?
Every
10 stores
Yeah.
to find the right pair. Like, probably could find a pair in one store, but it might be.
And it probably wasn't enough price.
And then we found them online cheaper.
Try them on, know your size, then we'll go from there. Well, it's
So-
the same thing with the house in Oriental. It's
point.
under agreement now, but when we listed, the price wasn't much over what CMA showed. But we had the issue of 1.5 weeks after we listed, we had a house down the street with a fully finished walkout basement, an extra quarter acre, and like an extra 1,000 square feet come on the market, like 15 grand over our price.
And went on deposit.
Hey, the first open house.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw that that house was for sale, I was like, okay,
People want that.
you timed that absolutely perfectly. I was like, and that's what I told her too. I was like, like that kind of set us back a little bit. That was kind of, a hit that we weren't looking at because that house wasn't for sale when we did everything.
And that's sort of unforeseeable, but it can help your seller get real. Instead of becoming the ping pong one thing that everybody bounces off of and goes and buys the other one. Right. You go, all right, should have some more competition. I gotta strategically posture myself in the market again with a better price or staging.
Which is what we did in it.
Right, so you navigate that first. But yeah, a lot of sellers will want to play that game first because of the emotion. Conversation, how this all ties together.
The price they want in money is usually not that.
Right. How many sellers do they want to leave?
Every one will.
You're gonna tell them. You can't negotiate if you don't get an offer. So what's the point of? I'd rather see a seller stand firm or firmer at a good price than $1,000.
Right, we can see tens right now. Everybody should write that. Can't negotiate if you don't have an offer. I let them try it for 2 weeks. Dox yourself. With no showings and no offers, it's the right price, right? Okay.
Well, a lot of people, I think a lot of sellers think, well, I'll just give money back at the closing. Well, we can't get to a closing table until we see the
Fire. We don't have one.
buyer. Let's get a buyer. Let's get lots of buyers.
Anything else? All right, good session, guys. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
That was good stuff.
Mike,
I don't think they can see you anymore.
People can see you.
The share screen, not the, when I go back.
Oh.
You only see it when,
Oh, so they can't see me. I thought it
No, what you're seeing is on the screen.
they could see you earlier when the video camera was up.
was.